Okay, so this is the most weird phone from Samsung in recent times. This is the Galaxy S25 Edge. The Edge naming was always retained for something unique from the traditional Samsung devices. So this is one of them. But this experiment shows that Samsung doesn't care about many more cameras anymore, because this is official renders published by WinFuture. And Samsung themselves has teased the S25 Edge back in January. We've seen real-life prototype units as well. And the announcement date we are hearing is actually 16th of this month, April. And we can see also the color options here. There is going to be the titanium jet black, the titanium icy blue, and a titanium silver. And from the name you also know the frame. It's going to be made out of titanium because that's durable. Also, as expected, the S25 Edge looks very similar to S25 Plus. Same amount of bezel and everything. But it only gets dual rear-facing cameras, as I said. One is the 200 megapixel main camera, the ISOCELL HP2SX camera found inside the S24 and S25 Ultras, and also a 12 megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens, which is weird compared to the S25 Ultra, which has a 50 megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera. Probably the highlight of that whole phone. Okay, but if you ignore that, there is a 6.7-inch screen, LTPO AMOLED screen with Full HD Plus resolution and 1/220Hz refresh rate, just like the S25 Plus. But the craziest part, the reason why Samsung is doing the experiment, is actually the thinness of this phone. That's going to be 5.84 millimeters. We have seen phones with less than 6 mm thickness way back in 2014 or so, but nowadays we're seeing the phone with 162 grams of weight. This is one of the lightest and thinnest phones from Samsung in years, literally. At the same time, this one will be packing Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset for Galaxy with 12 GB of RAM and 3900 mAh battery. But then there is a fact that it's a 6.7-inch phone with a 3900 mAh battery. And that's not a good thing, because it's even less than the S25, which is much more smaller device. Also, the charging speed is capped at 25 watts because of vapor chamber cooling system is not going to be that great. And talking about the Snapdragon 8 Elite, we also have the real-life benchmarking of this phone on Geekbench, and it scored 2,969 in the single-core test and 9,486 points in the multi-core test. And this is a huge number. Now, another thing is that there is a South Korean guy who actually got a prototype unit of this device, which shows the dimensions and everything, but also it shows the USB Type-C port, which is not in the center of the phone. So you might be thinking it might break easily. That's something we have to guess at this point, but because it's made out of titanium, not aluminum, the frame, then there is very little chance of that happening. And even Samsung Mobile Experience VP said the same exact thing, that it might be thinner, but it's not gonna break that easily. So now the price. The S25 Edge, unlike the iPhone 17 Air, will not be priced that cheap. I mean, even the iPhone 17 Air's price is still costly, but comparatively, the 256GB iteration is the base model of this phone is going to cost somewhere between 1,200 euros to 1,300 euros, while the 512GB model is said to cost between 1,300 euros to 1,400 euros, depending on the market. So the pricing looks like it is somewhere slotting between the S25 Plus and the S25 Ultra. And that will create a big confusion, because if you spend only a few bucks, then you can actually get the best phone of Samsung's S25 lineup, the Ultra. It has a much better design, much more powerful camera system, probably a better display, a much bigger battery with much better battery life for sure. Even the performance will be much higher because the vapor chamber cooling system is bigger and more better. And Samsung will sell it in the limited numbers in most markets. So Samsung is experimenting with this phone totally. They want to see whether we prefer this thinner design over a thicker phone, and whether we prefer lesser cameras but more powerful cameras on even flagship phones. Because there is a chance that the S26 Ultra will not even offer the 3x camera at all. Rather, they will switch to a 200 megapixel 4x camera, but that's something for another day. And that's going to be our future Galaxy smartphones. Let me know about your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about this design and this thing, or this phone overall? Like, will you buy this over S25 Plus, or will you straight out buy the S25 Ultra instead of this?
And yes, if you want, you can get some crazy cool wallpapers up on my website. A link down below. Until the next one, bye and take care.